What would you do if all you had left was $50 for the entire week? In the US, $50 barely covers half a tank of gas, a small grocery bag at Walmart, and definitely not enough to breathe a sigh of relief. But in a peaceful corner of the world, $50 could mean an entire life. A clean room to sleep in, 3 fresh meals a day, and quiet afternoons watching the sunset without worrying about bills. That's right. There are countries where you don't have to be rich to live, where $50 a week is enough to live as a human fully, safely, and freely. Today, I'll take you to 5 such places. No hype, no gimmicks, just the truth. That could change the way you live forever. If you've ever dreamed of a life that's smaller but deeper, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you won't miss the next miracle. And don't look away, because the last country might just be where you retire forever on just $50 a week. Dream it, pack it, go. 5. India, a spiritual universe where dollars turn into freedom. With just $50 a week, you don't just survive, you savor every moment, every meal, every sunset. Breakfast? A warm plate of chapati with fragrant lentil curry, $1.50. A full vegetarian lunch at a local restaurant? $2 to $3. A full-hour Ayurvedic massage with herbal oils costs less than a cup of coffee in Seattle. Need a tuk-tuk to the market? Just 30 cents. In Udaipur, a city known as the Venice of the East Lake Piccola, lies still each morning like a fairy tale mirror. White stone palaces seem to float above the water. Birds glide past temple towers in soft golden light. Here, you can rent a small apartment with a balcony overlooking the lake for around $120. Month cheaper than parking in some US cities. In this part of the world, the sun doesn't just rise, it spills golden light across ancient rooftops, reflecting through a lake as calm as glass. There, a sacred cow strolls through the street, men in white robes meditate at temple gates, and the whole city seems to breathe in one rhythm, slow, calm, and profound. There is no place in the world quite like India where chaos and serenity coexist, where incense smoke, honking horns, and temple chants blend into a strange and beautiful symphony of life. And if you're looking for a place to slow down, live simply, and still feel deeply inspired, then cities like Udaipur, Rishikesh, or Mysore are calling your name. India doesn't have an official retirement visa, but you don't need a stamped card to live like a minimalist king. US. Citizens can apply for a tourist e-visa that lasts up to 180 days. The process is online, low cost, with no invitation letter or proof of funds required. And when that visa nears expiration, just hop over to Nepal or Sri Lanka for a short trip, then return to start the cycle anew. Many people have lived this border meditation lifestyle for years, and they're still healthy, still free, still happy. Healthcare? Don't worry. India is the medical capital of Asia. Major cities like Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore have modern private hospitals, English-speaking doctors, many trained in the US and UK. A knee replacement surgery may cost just $3,000, $4,000, while in the US it can reach $40,000. A general checkup? 20, 30 per visit. You can buy international health insurance for a few $100s a year, or just pay out of pocket because it's so affordable. And you won't feel alone. Indians may be quiet at first, but a sincere smile, a gentle namaste, can open up a whole community that welcomes you like an old friend. In small cities like Udaipur, Mysore, or Dharamshala, you can sip milk tea on the roadside, chat with a monk, or join an expat yoga group by the lake in the morning. Safety isn't a major issue, as long as you show respect, dress modestly, and live gently in the spirit of this place. And then, in the midst of all that simplicity, there are moments so strange, they feel unreal. One afternoon by Lake Pichola, Susan, a 5-year-old woman from the US, who had just moved in a few weeks ago, was meditating when a sacred cow, an animal revered as a divine being, slowly walked up to her. It stood and looked at her for a while, then sat down beside her. No fear, no explanation. I swear, its eyes understood me more than my 2 kids back home. She laughed. It's in moments like that you realize India isn't just a place to live cheaply. It's a place where you are deeply accepted, where your presence, even as a Westerner, speaking a foreign tongue, becomes part of the ancient picture. You might have thought living on $7 a day was just surviving. But here, it's how you live most fully. So, are you ready to be woken by temple chants each morning? To have breakfast with masala tea and hot roti? To sit by an ancient lake at sunset without checking your bank balance? If your heart is whispering, I want that, comment I choose freedom in India, or share anything else you want. I always want to hear it. Point out what's wrong. I'm grateful for that too. And don't look away. The next country might surprise you even more. 4. Nepal, where you slow down, so your heart can catch up. In Pokhara, the most peaceful lakeside city in the Himalayas, just $7 a day lets you rent a small tile-roofed house with a front yard and a reading corner that looks out over still water. A plate of steaming momo costs just $1. A full traditional meal with dal bhat rice, lentils, vegetables is less than $2. You don't need to buy a stove or worry about gas bills. All you need is a tiny eatery on the corner, where the owner remembers your name after 3 days and always adds a spoon of Western-style, but less spicy sauce just for you. There, mornings are for brewing ginger tea and listening to the wind from Annapurna. And evenings are for lighting an oil lamp, enjoying hot noodles with neighbors, people who treat you like family, no matter where you come from. Somewhere in America, an electricity bill has just landed in a mailbox, making a retired man sigh when he sees it totals $230. Somewhere in Seattle, a morning coffee has just gone up to $6.50 and the barista didn't even smile. And somewhere in the daily grind, people have forgotten life isn't just about surviving, it's about feeling. But in Nepal, life reminds you of that every single day, through a simplicity that's hard to believe. You don't need to run from growing old. Here, growing old is an honor. Nepali people will call you Dai, big brother, or Didi, big sister, as a way of showing respect. And they'll ask if you want to learn a few traditional dance steps, or try pottery with an 80-year-old artisan in Bhaktapur where the bricks are still fired by hand, and the light is still as gentle as it was 100 years ago. What about the visa? Don't worry. You don't need citizenship to live kindly here. With Nepal's easy-to-get tourist visa, you can stay up to 150 days each year, with just a few clicks, and a visa fee that costs less than a dinner in Boston. Many people return to Nepal year after year as a healing habit, spring in Kathmandu for meditation, autumn in Pokhara for lakeside walks. You don't need to own anything, just being present means you're already living fully in Nepal. Worried about healthcare? Kathmandu has hospitals dedicated to foreigners, English-speaking doctors, and checkup costs, starting from just $15, $30 per visit. Some people choose to buy international insurance, but many long-term residents here say, we've never even needed it because here, the soul heals before the body. And if serious treatment is needed, Delhi is just an hour away by plane, and Bangkok only a bit further. The issue isn't lack of options. It's that you get to live in a place where your body and mind both get to rest. While in the US, the elderly are forgotten in $2,000 month rental apartments. Here, old age is heard, seen, and invited to village festivals as an honored guest. You can join the mountain watching club every morning at Fiwa Lake with other expats, or learn Nepali through funny mistakes that no one laughs at. And if one day you feel sad missing your grandchildren, feeling lonely, just walk to Seti Temple by the lake. There, a monk won't ask where you're from, but will simply smile, hand you a prayer bead, and say, sit here, breathe with me. That's all we need. In Nepal, you don't need to earn a lot to live enough. You just need to let go a little and you're already full. Have you ever wondered how you'd live if you weren't crushed by debt, taxes, and rising prices? If Nepal is the place where you feel you can finally breathe again, leave a comment. I'm ready. Don't forget to like this video so it reaches someone exhausted by city life. And subscribe to the channel to discover the next country where blue seas, fresh fruit, and life costs just $5 a day. 3. Bolivia, the highland of cheap dreams. Where can you live on $50 a week? Definitely not in Los Angeles, where one wrong press on the remote could cost you $20 by accidentally calling a cable service. Not in New York either, where $50 barely covers 5 days of subway rides, and if it rains, you'll need to buy a $25 umbrella just to leave it behind at Starbucks. But in Bolivia, in the peaceful highlands, where wind flutes echo across the Andes, you can truly live, not just survive, not rush, but live slowly, deeply, and fully. In the city of Sucre, the constitutional capital of Bolivia, you can rent a bright, clean apartment with a balcony overlooking the old white-tiled rooftops for just $120 a month, about $30 a week. Less than the price of a Vegas buffet. An average American can live comfortably here on just $200. $250 per month. But for you, someone tired of endless bills, of a rushed life, of feeling like every minute is a spending race, Bolivia feels like a peaceful embrace from both nature and its people. Let's hear the story of Mr. Mike, a 8-year-old former construction engineer from Texas who used to live in Houston. He said, "At first, I came to Bolivia just to visit an old war buddy, planning to stay for a few weeks. But then I saw an avocado the size of my fist, and it only cost 30 cents, so I decided to move here for good. If avocados are that cheap, what's there to think about?" Mike rented a one-bedroom apartment in Sucre for $110. Every morning, he goes to the central market to buy bananas, purple potatoes, and fried pastries made fresh by the Quechua women. Because he doesn't speak Spanish well, every shopping trip is a kind of funny silent movie, but people smile, correct his pronunciation, and sometimes give him extra fruit because it was just too cute. One time, Mike accidentally said huevon, idiot, instead of huevos, eggs, to a vendor. She burst out laughing and gave him 2 eggs anyway. Since then, he's become her regular customer. And every week, with just $50, he lives comfortably, has money for coffee every morning, and sends selfies to tease his friends still stuck in US traffic. The cost of living in Bolivia isn't just cheap, it's surprisingly reasonable. A street meal costs only $1, $2. Internet is stable, buses are 25 cents a ride, and fresh, clean produce is abundant in local markets. As for healthcare, in major cities like La Paz, Cochabamba, or Sucre, there are private hospitals good enough to handle most health needs. General checkups cost just $20, $30. Medication is easy to find, and doctors are friendly. Many foreigners choose to buy international health insurance, but even without it, you can live healthily here on a small budget. And the visa? U.S. citizens can stay visa-free for up to 90 days per year. If you want to stay longer, you can apply for a retirement-based temporary residency card. You only need to show a small income. Around $300 a month is enough. The Bolivian government doesn't require large investments, nor does it force you to learn the language. As long as you live kindly and integrate gently, you'll be welcomed. And because foreign retirement income isn't taxed in Bolivia, your money lives longer, breathes easier, and feels happier. Security here is very stable, especially in smaller towns. Violent crime is rare. The people are friendly, perhaps a bit reserved at first, but with a smile and a few basic Spanish words, they'll call you vecino neighbor. Every day is a soft Andean melody, a slow coffee, an afternoon of reading in the sun. If Bolivia makes your heart stir, leave a comment. I'm ready to live less, to live deeper. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next country might surprise you even more, a place you've never thought of, but your heart has long been searching for. 2. Vietnam. A slow-living haven for the weary soul. $200 month in living expenses is all it takes to enjoy a life of peace and calm. Imagine this. You're walking slowly through the tiled alleys of Hoi An's ancient town, where red lanterns hang high, temple bells echo over clay roofs, and a strong iced milk coffee costs just 75 cents. While in the US, turning on the AC can make you sweat from the electric bill, in Vietnam, less than $50 a week lets you live fully with nothing lacking. Vietnam isn't where you live richly in money, but where you live richly in emotion. Here, a cozy tiled roof home on the outskirts of Hoi An or Hue can be rented for $100. $130 month, enough for a retired person to have a private space, a small garden, and a balcony that looks out over the rice fields. And in the riverlands of the Mekong Delta, like Ben Tre, riverside houses can be rented for just $80, $100 month, where mornings begin with rooster calls and afternoons end with fishing by the water. A full day of eating local style in Vietnam costs just $3. $4. Breakfast? Fragrant beef? Pho? For $1.50. Lunch? Crispy roasted chicken rice for $2. Dinner? Hanoi-style grilled pork with free iced tea, plus tropical fruits like mango and dragon fruit for under $1 kg. You can literally live like royalty while spending like a high schooler in New York. As for residency, there's no official retirement visa, but since 2023, Vietnam has expanded its 90-day e-visa program, with multiple entry, very convenient. It's cheap, $25, and by leaving and re-entering, you can legally stay for nearly a full year. Additionally, if you make a small investment in a company, you can apply for a 5-year temporary residence card. Or, if you have Vietnamese roots, parent, spouse, etc., you can apply for a 5-year visa exemption. What about taxes? If you're just spending your US retirement income, you don't owe taxes in Vietnam. Even if you qualify as a resident 183 days, you won't be taxed unless you earn income locally. That's why many Americans choose to live in Vietnam. It's affordable and hassle-free when it comes to paperwork. What about the healthcare system? In cities like Da Nang, Nha Trang, or Da Lat, there are many high-quality private hospitals, English-speaking doctors, and affordable costs. A specialist consultation costs only $20, $30. You can purchase international health insurance from the US or Europe, which is still accepted at major facilities here. With a monthly budget of just $200, $250, you can still take care of your health and receive full, reliable care. And what about safety? Vietnam is one of the safest countries in Southeast Asia. Guns are nearly non-existent, and serious crimes are extremely rare. As long as you're mindful in crowded areas to avoid petty theft, most expats feel completely comfortable in peaceful towns like Ninh Binh, Da Lat, Quy Nhon, or Mui Ne, where nature is pure, and locals still smile at you, even if you don't speak the language. More and more Americans are choosing Vietnam as their final stop. They discover here a lifestyle, unlike anywhere else. A place where they can be themselves. A place where they're free to live and do what they truly want. They immerse themselves in an atmosphere of peace and love. You'll be surprised at how warm and generous Vietnamese people are, especially in rural areas. They'll show you directions, invite you to eat, help you fix a flat bicycle, without asking for anything in return but a smile. Many older expats have settled in regions like Hoi An, Ben Tre, or the outskirts of Da Lat where the air is clean. The cost of living is low, and the pace of life feels like stepping back into 1972 America, peaceful, grounded, and kind. So, what would you choose? A cramped $2,000 apartment in Los Angeles, or a tiled roof home in Hoi An for $120? A $15 fast food meal in New York, or a steaming bowl of rare beef pho for $1.50 beside the river? Vietnam doesn't promise luxury, but it offers the dream of living simply with a humble wallet. And sometimes, that's exactly what our hearts are really yearning for. Are you ready to live slower, live deeper, and get more out of life on just $50 a week? Comment I choose Hoi An if you're ready to start over in a place like this. 1. Laos, the meditation airspace lost on the map of time. If there's a place in the world where clocks don't tick, where people live by the rhythm of the wind, the temple bells, and the shimmer of sunlight on the river, that place is Laos. It's not loud like Thailand, not bustling like Vietnam. Here, everything is light, from the footsteps of the locals to the way they smile and bow in greeting, as light as the morning mist along the Mekong River in Luang Prabang, the ancient town recognized by UNESCO. You don't have to live fast here. You only need to live slowly and sincerely. And strangely enough, it's this quietest place that's also one of the cheapest for truly living. With just $50 a week, or less than $220 a month, you can rent a wooden stilt house by the river, eat fragrant sticky rice, mildly spicy lap, and fresh fruits from the local market. A full street meal costs just about $2, and even less if you cook at home. Laos doesn't have an official retirement visa, but it welcomes retirees with a rare kind of relaxed flexibility. You can get a 30-day tourist visa on arrival for $35 and renew it multiple times if you want to stay longer. Some open small businesses or volunteer to qualify for longer stays, but most simply choose to live gently, coming and going from Laos like the monsoon winds, slowly but steadily. And unlike the US, where you're taxed down to the last cent of your pension and savings, here in Laos, no one asks anything of you as long as you're not working or doing business. You bring money from the US, spend on a simple life, and don't have to report to anyone. Of course, Laos doesn't have a world-class medical system, but locals are used to that when needed. They simply cross over to Thailand, just a few hours from Vientiane, to access more advanced hospitals. For basic needs, you can visit private clinics like the French Medical Center, or easily buy medicine without a prescription. Just keep an international insurance policy, and you'll see that staying healthy in Laos is far simpler than struggling to survive in an overpriced and exhausting America. Laos is not just safe, it gives you the feeling of being respected in silence. There's no snatching, no violence. The Lao people live by the teachings of Buddhism, valuing gentleness and calm, to the point where you feel like you're walking through a world that has never been broken. And if you want to live in a place that offers spiritual depth and peace while spending only $50 a week, then Luang Prabang or Vang Vieng could be the beginning of your new life. In Vang Vieng, where limestone mountains tower over the Nam Song River, you can rent a humble bungalow, live close to nature, bike to the market, grow your own vegetables, and spend your afternoons listening to the rainfall on a bamboo roof. A kind of life where, with just $200 a month, you have everything and owe nothing. If your heart feels tired from the numbers on American bills, Laos might be the place where you finally catch your breath. Leave a comment, I choose peace, and I'll take you to the next place where you can live like royalty on just a handful of small coins. Are you ready to enter a world without traffic horns? You see, while $50 in the US might only cover one tank of gas, in places like Bolivia, India, or Vietnam, it's enough to live for a whole week. To eat well, sleep peacefully, and wake up smiling. This isn't just about saving money. It's about the right to live a life not suffocated by bills. To wander freely through the ancient streets of Hoi An, meditate by Lake Pichola, or sip coffee under Sucri's gentle sun. If you're ready to live deeper with less, leave a comment right now. I'm ready to start over on just $50 a week. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell, because in the next episode, I'll take you to a place even cheaper, greener, and maybe the very place your heart's been searching for. You don't need more money. You just need a little more courage.